It's the 2024 PHNX Rising Team Awards. Find out who's taking home top honors right now.
Max, what are you even singing?
Welcome into the PHNX Rising podcast. Appreciate everyone joining us here on a Wednesday evening. It is awards season, of course, with a couple of bona fide winners. Myself, to my right next to me, it is the one, the only. He is voted most likely to be a bore, Mr. Owain the Oracle Evans. And on my right,
is that meant to be a compliment,
and
Max?
on the right of him, he has the world record for the most half hot dogs consumed in a 2-minute stretch. It is Rees, the glizzy guzzler. Goodall.
One day. Well, I
thought
doing
it was
good.
the hot dog heaver.
Yeah.
That's the new one, right? Yeah.
I was having a good day, and then Max started singing. These nicknames came back.
Hang on a minute. It's going off topic a little bit with a different team.
Wait a second. Leave a like.
Hold
look
on,
at
it's
that.
not up yet. It's not. They can't see that, Max. You don't
let's
understand.
show a little. Leave the like that will be on screen. We have Fat
It's
Kid.
gonna come in soon.
We got Fat Kid in the chat.
Max is getting ahead of
Telling
himself.
people to leave a like button, but really, the big
There it is.
one on here, Mr. James Wilson in the chat. This is for you. Leave a like. This man, his daughter made this beautiful Rees caricature. This man just came out of surgery. This man just came out of surgery too. He's doing well. We're doing
It's a better
great.
drawing than Rees would
Leave
manage.
a like. Rees, how do you feel? That's some great artwork on there.
I'm just glad it's not the picture of me holding my head in my hands.
No, that's true.
Well,
You know what? You know what I hear? You know, it's a obviously different sport. You know, we love our Phoenix Rising games here, but of course, you know, in the off season, maybe you want to go check out the Suns. I hear they're doing cheap hot dogs, mate. I mean,
No,
we can get him down.
I think
it's a team. It's a team in the valley.
my
That doesn't count.
off-season sport is the darts. So I'll stick with the
He's
darts.
sticking with the darts. It's a big time with the darts right now.
great.
That's what championship.
There are the darts, then the
Pally.
I could say that word on here, but I'm not going to. Anyway, leave a like on the way in here. We got a lot to get to, guys. It is
Now I'm worried what he was going to
what
say.
rhymes with darts. So we got 2024 PHNX Rising Awards. Lots of different categories. Everything to get to. Let's take care of some housekeeping business. Also, before, got to shout out Mr. Kyle behind the Mac, pushing the buttons. The Redbeard is
And
with
telling
us.
you to leave a like.
Redbeard, as always, with us. Yes, James, we got you. Thank you for thank you and the fam for making that. But yes, keep those coming in. By the way, keep in the drawings, keep the resubmissions in there. Let's get some housekeeping.
We don't have to.
Yes, you
I
do.
mean,
You would
we
do.
can stop with the best one.
Let's
we can
get some housekeeping out of the way. Phoenix Rising. You know, we talked about a forward with some air quotes, and there's a forward, not a number 9, but right, a forward signed last week. And we do have 2 more signings. One we'll talk about, one that we're familiar with, Remi Cabral.
Yeah, Remi Cabral. Look, I saw some mixed bags things, I think, with, you know, just how people felt about him coming back. What I'll say on Remi is I see a role for him in this team. This is a guy who scored 7 goals despite all the issues he had last year through injury, through obviously the family issues that he went through during the course of the year, and he managed to come away with, you know, with 7 goals at the end of it. That's a reasonable haul. Is that necessarily what you want from someone who you'd say is going to be your big starter? Maybe not. Maybe you do want more, and I think probably you do want more. However, I do see a point in bringing him back if you're using him in the rotation as someone who can come off the bench and find goals. He's obviously got pace on balls over the top, which is good to have for someone who's coming off the bench. The The real question is he the only guy? Because for so long last year, they relied on him to effectively be the guy, the only guy for large spells. And if that's the case again, you've got problems. I don't expect from everything I'm hearing that that's going to be the case this year. You, of course, never know because, hey, it's the transfer market. Things fall through. Things are complicated. Things are never easy. But I do see a role for him on this team, especially if you're in a position where, as it sounds like, Parmadou thinks that he can kind of get the best out of Remi. He thinks that he's going to be able to find ways to make him step up a level. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Remi Cabral, you mentioned he had such a difficult season last year with how fitness went for him. But I think he displayed moments of greatness where that's why you bring him back this year. The flashes are why you bring him back. And you got to hope that those can be, what's the word? I can't think of. Grown out into a full 34 match season. You know, hope
Extrapolated.
Yes, extrapolated. I knew it started with an E, but rough going there.
Educational show here.
Yeah,
the
thank you.
PHNX Rising podcast.
That's why we call him Mr. Simpson.
There we go. It's the teacher over in the corner.
I am the oldest of the group. Shouldn't have said that, but it's true.
Old man.
Old man Max.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Old man Simpson in the corner over here.
There we go. All right.
But again, if,
Old man shouts at clown.
if those flashes can turn into something for a full season, I think you do have something there, but you do need to sign another striker to go along with Cabral.
Yeah, 100%. I'm seeing in the chat jet, wanting the Remi discourse, and also is a good presser, in my opinion. I think I share, honestly, I kind of meet in the middle and really agree with what both of you guys are saying. To Owen's point, if Remi Cabral, let's say in hypothetical, if you are having him, hey, you're going to bank on him beating your main and only number one striker, I do have my concerns, especially that being what they say. The best availability is durability, or the best. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Anyway,
best abilities availability.
That's the phrase. That's the phrase. Anyway, yes, his miss.
To get there eventually. Both of you. Both of you struggle.
We try to turn a phrase, but no, listen, it's definitely had a bit of a rough go on the injury bug, right? Last season in 22 appearances, 7 goals. But I really do agree with Rees's point is he did have his moments. And listen, moments, especially as a striker, sometimes that's all you need, but that's sometimes all you get. And I think he's the type of player where, listen, as with any striker, you need to rely on good service. Rising really throughout last season did not have that as a consistent basis. You saw the lack of crossing accuracy, even just really quality chances put in. If they are able to surround him with more playmakers on the wings and play a bit more through him, I do like it. And I think the thing that he has that we even talked about when he had, brace against FC Tulsa, when he had some of those moments where he's able to take the game over, is he just has that striker's instinct. He has that clinical finishing. As a Golden Boot winner myself, and I can't attest to this, it's just you either sometimes have that or you don't. And the man does. I think the big thing, right, to what we're going to see is, can you pair him with another number 9, not necessarily at the same time, but just some more depth there, bring about, hey, he doesn't have to be your only reliable top goal scorer, and just surround him with more help, right? It's easier said than done. We'll have to wait and see what that happens. But overall, I like that you're bringing him back. You know what you're getting out of him, and it's not a bad move by any means. I totally get the mixed discourse, and I think with this time will tell. But overall, I'm very high on this. I got no downside for signing Remi.
I don't think it's a problem. I'm not concerned. There's nothing about this that makes me think, wow, that's concerning.
Yeah.
Even if you look at it and think, oh, he's not enough. Yeah, that's fine. You've got time. You've got to get it sorted. Again, this isn't last season. You can't do going into this with Remi Cabral as your only real option at number 9, save for an anti-position Darius Formella.
Yeah.
But as long as you get someone in by the start of the season, I don't think you're that worried. Now, if we're talking in March and we're saying, it's still just Remi Cabral, I'm going to be concerned at that point, but not for now.
Yeah, and back to that flashes thing, 6 of his goals came in a 5-match span where he played 90 minutes in all 5 of those games. The rest of the season, he didn't play 90 minutes back-to-back once. So, I mean, that 5-match stretch, it was 2 goals against Tulsa, a goal against Pittsburgh, 2 goals against Rhode Island, and a goal against Sacramento. Again, those matches were some of his best moments of this season. If he can stay fit this season, I really like the potential that he showcased last season. Again, it's just filling the roster out and making sure that they have other guys behind him as well.
That's it, man. Love potential. You can say there's a lot of hope on the
Oh,
rise.
gosh,
Do you know how many
damn it.
times that's going to be absolutely just used to the degree? And like, I'm going to take full advantage of it. I'm going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, I know.
We know
Mhm.
you're going to be one of those
We're
guys.
starting it off strong. But yes, Rising signed another playmaker. Hope Avayevu. Avayevu? Yes?
Rees
Avayevu, yes.
Avayevu,
Avayevu,
Thank,
yeah.
thank you very much. Yes, 22 Ghanaian international. He does have experience playing with Pamadou in North Texas, came through the ranks and everything like that. You see a little bit of the tape that they put out. Seems like a guy, interesting playmaking ability. Definitely a lot of that kind of twitchy, quick motion. We'll have to see. I mean, again, a lot of I want to say maybe raw potential isn't the right word because 22, a little bit older in certain regards, depending on how you look at it. But I think he's a guy who we just have to see more of him. But it's at least an intriguing signing. I think it kind of similar to what we talked about last week. Just a lot still to learn, but I mean, it's depth. We'll give it that.
What I'll say here, by the way, I'll pick you up on one little thing there. He's a Ghanaian national, and he's an international player, but he has not played for Ghana. So he's not a Ghanaian international.
You know what
Let's
I
be
mean.
clear.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't want to mislead the people.
Tomato. I would
There we go. Yeah, another attacking kind of player. He's a playmaker. He's obviously picked up the assist in MLS Next Pro. I've heard that he's quite an interesting guy to watch from his time in Next Pro. So I'm intrigued to see what he can bring to this level. Obviously, he's someone who's worked with Pamadou. But how much does he bring at this level? I don't know because he hasn't played at this level. That's the thing. He's been a long time kind of third division in the US guy, whereby he's been in League One, obviously briefly when North Texas were there, moved with North Texas to MLS Next Pro, and then ultimately moved on to Ventura County, where he had a pretty short season this year. I believe it was somewhat injury related. But it's or at least he had a pretty bad injury in 23 at the very least. Look, he's someone who it'll be interesting to see what he can do. He was described to me by people who know Next Pro a lot better than I do, as someone who is really quite consistent in that league. So again, at 22, taking that gamble on a guy in Next Pro who's clearly done okay down there, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a few of his MLS Next Pro tape, like some of the goals and assists that he had, and it's a very interesting profile he offers. I mean, he's only 5'6", but on that left wing where he played a lot for North Texas and Ventura, he was very pacey inside, cutting inside, and then firing off shots or delivering passes to players, which makes it so interesting to see. Like it kind of reminds me a bit of how Damian Rivera looks. So looks like Rising are just kind of went after guys that had similar profiles. But for Hope, he really created a ton of chances with North Texas, or had a ton of key passes. 5 goals, 9 assists his first season in 2022 under Ka. 24 chances created. 23 had 6 goals, 4 assists, 21 chances created. And then that shortened season with Ventura County last year, 4 assists and still 9 key passes. So there is the potential there. It's just the one worry I have is that leap from Next Pro to the USL Championship a little too much for him?
That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, we will certainly have to see. I mean, again, I never have an issue with signing depth and signing, I think, intriguing pieces. Again, I kind of go back to you saw around this time last year, right? A lot of guys being brought in, a lot more veteran, kind of maybe a lower, relatively higher floor, lower ceiling, and just kind of, hey, maybe some transition guys being able to, put in a shift, all that stuff. It seems like they're going after a more attacking mold. It's different. It's exciting. Granted, you have to supplement that with other pieces, but it at least keeps me intriguing. We're going to wait to see as this roster fills out. And again, we're going to make no bones about it. This, you got to keep solidifying more signings. They need a lot more, but I'm at least intrigued by it. Just seems a little bit different this year. And that makes sense with new manager, new direction, all that jazz.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, we're going to have to wait for more pieces to come together. We've actually seen, I think, broadly speaking, these first signings haven't really told us a lot outside of some of the attack-minded players they're looking for. Obviously, they're going to need more pieces in midfield. They're going to need more pieces in defense. And they're definitely going to need another number 9 in there.
Yeah.
They're going to need goalkeepers.
There's
no Rocco Ríos Novo. There's no Rocco Ríos Novo. We haven't even led with that, right?
Yeah.
There's been a lot happening with Rocco Ríos Novo moving on. That's going to be a big part as well. And look, he was a player who obviously meant a lot in his 2 years
my gosh.
here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of very good memories with Rocco at this club, and I know that he's going to leave with some good memories, and the fans are going to leave with a lot more good memories.
So entertaining from a goalkeeper perspective.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that.
Yeah.
Usually if you do, it's for the bad reasons.
Yeah,
but
it's really just it'll be interesting to see obviously how this team moves on from this point, right? Do you stick by the possession from the goalkeeper kind of approach that they took with Rocco in goal there? There aren't that many there are some, but there are a lot of goalkeepers that just can't do that.
Yeah.
And how does that change things? You know, with the new manager coming in, especially, how do you change perhaps the model at the back and how you possess the ball and how you begin those phases of play? Once you win the ball, how are you looking to play it out at the back? But we'll see. I mean, that's just a huge one now. Huge loss for this club.
Yeah, I mean, that penalty shootout, the celebration afterwards, I mean, it was just electric. I'll never forget that.
I mean, that night was, I mean, you didn't get to go, unfortunately, Rees. We were there, don't worry. We had a great time, didn't we, Max?
That was wild.
We loved.
I mean, you got the shot. You were right next to it.
Whew.
Wild. Man, we'll have to do maybe we'll do a compilation of Rocco saves. Talk about the memories. That's for down the road, even deeper after the holidays and everything. But yes, for now, PHNX Rising, they're filling out the roster and all that fun stuff. Guys, on the other side of the break, we're going to be talking about awards. Show them the ballot. Show them the envelope. Yeah. Ooh. Ah, yes.
Got envelopes here.
Absolutely. Yes. On the other side of the break, it's award time, folks. Catch us. But yes, we got to, of course, talk about our friends at Branded Bills. Branded Bills. First off, go to brandedbills.com, promo code PHNX, save 20% off that order. We got Kyle behind the Mac. He's rocking a little ASU hat. Is he not, Mr.
Max,
Oh,
pop
you
it on.
want to pop it on? We'll pop it on with Cha. That's our little collab with Branded Bills, little Branded Bills PHNX hats. It's very nice, very clean, nice little hat band. It's great. Reese, pass me the other one, if you will. Here we go. Yeah, that was it.
Left hand.
Great. Yeah, lefty's easy. Anyway, Brandon Bills, another collab hat with our friends over at Brandon Bills. There you go. It's super easy. BrandonBills.com, promo code PHNX, 20% save that off your order just with that promo code PHNX. They have ASU hats and, some other U of A hats, other stuff.
No one cares. One of them's a Big 12 champion, the other's not.
They're cool too. But no, Brandon Bills, shout out. They partner with the Suns. They have all kinds of fun hats. Help support our friends at Brandon Bills. Get yourself something nice for the holidays. Stocking stuffer. It's not too late. Also, speaking of stocking stuffers, friends over at Circle K. Circle K. Guys, they got the snacks. Do little lottery tickets. You can stock up on some drinks, give some nice fun for all the family. Just fun, little easy things, right? It's the gift giving time of year. It doesn't have to cost much, right? You can make it easy. Go to Circle K. Helps out with that. Of course, you can get the Polar Pops and the Frosters, 79 cents. It's that darn easy. And of course, join the Inner Circle membership. If you haven't already done that, first off, what are you doing? Do you not like saving money? It's that darn easy. All you got to do, download the Circle K app, enter in a phone number, save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, then 3 cents after that. Even get up to the max level, 5 cents off per gallon. It's that darn easy. Again, become an Inner Circle member, download the app today, get some stuff for your holiday stocking stuffers. Drop in the chat, by the way, what is your favorite stocking stuffer or snack or treat to get at Circle K? Best one, I don't know. We'll give you something. But actually, I'll tell you what we give you. Kyle, it's that time. Hit me with that Circle K snack toss.
What's he getting?
What do you got, Kyle?
In his mouth this time?
What do you got, Kyle? What's in my mouth hole?
Today we have cherry sours.
Oh yeah, that should be nice and spherical. Nice, round object. Should be good projectile wise, but
it's gonna be a far throw.
Yeah, it's a different throw.
Is a different throw. Kyle has gone on a little overhand. I don't like that sometimes. Puts a little mustard on it.
It kind of worries me.
Oh, that's a far throw. All right, here we go. Yeah.
This is
right
deep.
here. Right
from deep.
Well, there's a real risk with these because they're quite solid.
Yeah.
I can see Max losing an eye.
Mark on his head.
Here we go.
I mean,
we always connect on the second one.
Maybe we better be louder with that one.
I was barely
it was on target.
That's
on
the
receiver.
receiver.
You're not right.
Max out.
One more time. One
Third time's the charm.
And then
one of these, if you're not careful, Max is going to lose an eye from this or something.
Yeah.
He's going to have one front tooth after this.
Oh, no.
Ow! That's on me.
Fumbles it.
That's on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Max out.
Anyway, Owen. Awards.
Welcome in to the PHNX Rising Awards. I'm going to be leading us through this because I'm the only person who actually knows who's won any of these things.
He actually rigged all the awards.
I did. I rigged them all. No, I didn't. But We've got 9 categories to go through. To all of you who voted along, that is the fans, the diehards, and of course the media members that joined us in voting. Thank you for doing so. We have combined all of those votes together. They're in different weighted groupings there, and so it results ultimately we've got our winners now for the 9 categories. We've got a short list of 3 for each one. So the top 3 scorers in each category, we're going to put them up before we actually reveal the winner, and then we're going to open up one of these envelopes which will reveal the winner. And so we're going to start with our first category, and our first category is best win. Let's take a look at the shortlist for this one. So the most popular answers here were Rhode Island, the win against Rhode Island on April 26th, the win against San Antonio on September 21st, and the win against New Mexico on October 9th. So, without further ado, Rees, I'm going to hand you over this one. We've got the envelope here for best win. Show the people what you've got. Wow.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's see. This envelope has a bent corner. What does that mean?
It's the icy one.
It is the October 9th win over New Mexico. Okay, so that was one of those games, Rising, we're losing 1-0 in that game.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Came out of nowhere.
Exactly. So look at that one there. October 9th against New Mexico got 31% of the weighted vote. Only just ahead
That was
of
tight.
San Antonio.
Yeah,
September 21st, San Antonio. Max, give me your thoughts as you look at this list now. You look at that, Rhode Island coming in third, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rhode Island match is a nice way to kind of start the season-ish.
It was like a month and a half into the year.
But it felt like it was really one of the first more comprehensive wins. I don't know. I feel the team hadn't really had that up until that point in the season. I actually think I ended up voting for that one because I was like, it's a nice start. Bring back it was good vibes, good times. The New Mexico one, I think it's fair, totally fair to win. I think you go in, it's yes, number 1 team in the West and add away, and they ended up doing it.
Yeah, and Rising had lost the 3 matches they played before this. That Monterey Bay loss was right before it. So the vibes really could not have been lower before that New Mexico game. Where I feel like we talked about on the podcast about, is this team even going to make the playoffs? And
that was a diabolical
it was dark times. It was scary. But then they pull out that win. So, I mean, it was a really, really good win against your biggest rival. I'm going to say it, but getting the win.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Owen, any qualms with that? What do you got?
No, I mean, I get it. I'm not going to argue with that. I think it's definitely probably.
I remember
about
last
right.
time too we did this. You kind of had it broken out by fan and diehard and media.
Yeah,
I know you didn't this time, but did this generally kind of skew in a certain
have a
direction for
look.
each
I've got to
category?
pull the big spreadsheet out first for this one. The big spreadsheet. So the fans. I will say the fan ballot at large went for New Mexico over San Antonio, but both were clear up there as the most popular, the two of them. New Mexico got 42% of the overall fan ballot, 32% for San Antonio. There was a really big mix among diehards. In fact, no individual game got more than 1 vote among diehards. It was that well spread out. It was just bizarre. And then the media split kind of evenly between the 3 that made the shortlist. So.
Okay.
That gives you some a bit of an update there. We're going to move on now. We got our next award. This is where I think we'll have a bit more to talk about probably than some of the the
was
wins.
the spicy
It's
one.
kind of the boring one to start you off with.
Whoa,
but
whoa. Hold on. James Wilson in the chat just became a diehard. Let's go. Woo!
Don't seem too enthusiastic there, Max.
You're not enthusiastic at all. Let's go.
You're half asleep, mate.
Let's go,
You're
James.
half
Appreciate
asleep.
you. One more time. Leave a like. Throw it on there. Throw it on there. Do it for James. Reese, tell James how happy you are they became a diehard and with that cartoon drawing.
I'm really happy, but I feel like this could give you an outlet.
Screenshot that right
gives
there.
you the Discord server that could lead to more hot dog pictures, and that worries me.
Screenshot that.
That worries
injected
me.
in my veins.
More hot dog pictures worries.
Can you get a thumbs up in your right hand, please?
You go back on it. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
There we go. That's going to be the screenshot.
That's
we will
meme
go back
material.
and get that later
That's
on.
meme
We
material.
will go back and get
Thank you, James.
that
Appreciate you also, Amanda. Yes.
later.
Look what you
Great,
did,
great
James.
But
The
now,
Wilson family doing great.
yeah. Now
Yes.
we're going to move on with some of these positional awards. So next up is going to be the best Defender Award. And for this one, we have a shortlist again of 3 people. They are the 3 highest vote getters: Pat Marboy, Alejandro Fuenmayor, and Lawrence Wyke. Those are your 3 on the shortlist for Best Defender. Right. So this time, we've got the Best Defender envelope here. I'm going to hand this one off to Mr. Simpson.
Wow. Oh my.
Max, you get to reveal our winner. Show the people what you got right there.
Let me just make sure I got it the right way. I know we went over this, but it's
There are
okay.
very specific instructions.
I got it.
Max.
All right.
We
We
went
gave him
over
a
this
whole training
multiple
on this.
times.
Ooh,
Best
yes.
Defender. And the winner of
Wait,
Best
can
Defender.
we get a drum roll, please? Come on now.
No, I'm not giving you a
Come
drum
on,
roll.
Rees. Come on. It's not for me. It's the thing. Do it, Kyle. Do the thing we talked about. Kyle, do the thing we talked about. Yeah. This is so Disney. This is a horrible idea.
People are like watching this at home are going to
Let's
have a
go.
headache
Yeah.
watching that.
Pat my boy.
I think
Boom.
That was really anticlimactic. But Pat Marboy does indeed finish as your winner
How
as
is that
Best
spicy? That seems...
Defender.
Makes
No,
sense.
this one they just get more interesting than Best Win. Like, there's players here. There's more debate. It's more fun, I guess. I don't know. But let's have a look at the breakdown. Let's have a look at the breakdown. It was a pretty straightforward one in the end.
Yeah.
75%.
That wasn't interesting.
Not
It was very
across.
straightforward.
Of the weighted
What are we doing?
votes in this case, including 100% actually of the media vote for this one.
Wow.
Went
We
to
know ball.
Pat Marboy. Lawrence Wyke, the only other person to crack double digits in any
Dang.
of the categories here.
Dang. Dang.
Alejandro Fuenmayor kind of sneaks in there at the very end. A bit of some fan votes helped carry him over the line into 3rd place. But Pat Marboy, what a season he has had.
I think he's gonna, listen. I do not know the award winners.
genuinely doesn't.
I
I
genuinely
haven't
do not
shown
know
him
the
any of
award
these.
winners. Owen has refused to share it with us, which is fair. I genuinely think this is not going to be the only award that he wins tonight. This guy, incredibly talented, and you're going to tell me at the end of the year, maybe like, again, not to be a spoiler, but like, oh, if it's like newcomer of the year, sure, or like young player, sure, something like that. But if we're talking straight up overall defender, I mean, high praise and well deserved. This guy was all action, did a bit of everything, kind of was in the starting lineup, kind of out for a little bit, but then once he got back in, he was undroppable, and maybe outside of Rocco, maybe like the second guy on the team sheet. That's not a stretch by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, he got named to the USL Championship All-League second team.
That's not bad.
Like,
That's not bad at
in
all.
your first professional season.
It's crazy.
I mean, he could have gone to MLS, and I just think about that so often. Like, what would have been different if he had taken that route, signed that Generation Adidas contract to
No
go in the
forgets.
MLS Super Draft? Oh, come on.
Brandon
It's all
Jackson.
right
Come
because he
on, Max.
actually pronounced it wrong, but that's fine.
Adidas.
Stop
There
it.
we
Stop
go.
it.
Yeah, that's technically correct.
Stop. No, brand redacted.
Well,
Anyway, yes. Go on.
Regardless,
Thank you.
him coming here really put him on the right track. Had a great season here. Excited to see what his career end up being because he's still so young.
Yes.
He is.
It's crazy.
He is. He is young. He is young.
Maybe he's maybe an MLS Super Draft pick.
No,
Yeah, I mean, he
because
could be.
I've seen
He could
that being
be.
thrown around. It's just quite funny to me because they seem to think it's like, oh, he can be drafted. He can be drafted. But all it means is they'd have his rights. They
Yeah.
wouldn't actually be able
I'm
to.
just-
Wait, you mean the
Stirring
MLS
the
Super
pot.
Draft means nothing at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, that's why they're not even broadcasting it this year, are they?
They're not?
They're not broadcasting. Did you know
Wow.
that?
I
They're
didn't
just
know that.
posting the picks online.
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
Wow.
That's what they're doing. I mean, that's MLS for you right there.
Wow.
I mean, apparently, the Super Draft is a complete waste of everyone's time. But you know what's not a complete waste of everyone's time?
Nice transition.
Moving on to our next category. Now, we had defender last, so obviously it makes sense. Next up, Max, we're going to go
Best
for
goalkeeper.
midfielder.
Oh.
We're going with best midfielder
That'd be
next.
such a
Let's have a
troll
quick
if
look
that'd be such a troll.
at
if we
the
did that.
short list for best midfielder. 3 names on
Oh,
here.
wow.
Emil Quaisho. Now, some people will say, well, he played as a fullback for part wingback.
Okay.
It was a weird hybrid role. You don't have to classify it. He was also a midfielder for most of the season before that.
I think it's close. Even if he's lined up, whatever you put him on the team sheet, like I think you watch
Yeah.
his play, it's a little bit closer.
we put
to
him
the
in
midfielder. It
midfielder.
makes sense.
Anyway, Charlie Dennis is also on the short
little
list.
halfway season
And
nominee.
Renzo Zambrano
Oh wow.
is also on the short list. Now, this one we're getting a little bit closer than we were last time. So, Rees, I'm going to give you the honors here.
Really?
Best
This one's
midfielder.
close.
Closer. Not
Okay,
too close.
closer.
But closer.
Okay.
It is
Renzo
Renzo Zambrano.
No, it's no surprise.
Renzo
to me.
Zambrano comes away as our best midfielder for 2024. Let's have a look at the breakdown, shall we?
Oh, wow.
Do you want to lead us through this one, Max?
Sure, if my eyes don't deceive me, Renzo Zambrano weighted vote 36%, Charlie Dennis weighted vote 25%, and Emi Cuejo weighted vote of 11%. I mean, no, I love this one. I mean, I think right, Renzo Zambrano, we were talking about earlier, right? When you're looking at, we're talking about Remi Cabral, a bit of injuries last year. Renzo Zambrano was just straight up available all the dang time. He was very good. I think was already a solid player even coming off of last year's campaign. But right, you see he was named vice captain very early on, right? Was John Stenberg not able to go? He was the captain essentially the entire season. And you just see what he did, improved, I think, throughout the year. Especially again, looking after last year, and just he became much more of a well-rounded overall player. I think, right, a lot of it kind of typecast as, he's maybe just a safe passer and all that stuff. But I really think he broke out a lot of that mold. And I think he really became a guy who mopped up any defensive actions needed and really became a guy who can carry it forward a bit, progress play. Well-deserved, Renzo Zambrano.
Yeah, I'm just surprised he got that little of
That's
the
what I'm
vote.
saying.
Well, it was a real mixed bag. I think the other thing to note on this, of course, is obviously there's a bit of a split at times. So to give you an idea, I'll actually break down the vote a little bit more for you. So Renzo Zambrano did win in all three categories. He was the highest scorer in the fan category, although that was really close with Charlie Dennis. He was the highest among our diehards, and he won the most votes among the media. Charlie Dennis obviously comes in second in all of those categories. Emi Cuejo was actually pushed up a little bit by the media. The fans had him below Panos Armenakis, would you believe?
Oh, wow.
In this category.
I forgot Panos played here this season. It's been such a crazy
He did. It's been a long year. It's been a long year. But on the media side there, ends up with Emi Cuejo picking up, a little bit in the vote, and that pushes him above that line. So, I mean, obviously there's a bit of a split there. I mean, it's kind of the nature of it. Sometimes you have to pick one person, and some of these guys brought a lot of different things at different times. Charlie Dennis, I think, was important in the second half of the season at picking up some of the wins that Rising did manage to get in that spell. But I'd agree. I think Renzo Zambrano deserved winner of this award.
Yeah, I think for Dennis, when he played deeper, that's when he struggled, and he played deeper a bit too much for my liking. When he was higher up the pitch, he was excellent, but he didn't play that role enough to really garner that much of the vote, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's fair enough. It is fair enough. Now, we're going to move on shortly to our next category in this one, which will be the category of best forward. We'll get the shortlist up. We're going to have a little chat about this one before we pull the envelope on this one. But best forward, in this case, not really a surprise, probably as you look at the names that are up there. Remi Cabral.
Yes.
Darius Formella. And Jill Margarita. Now, before I give you this envelope, Max, I want to know some thoughts. What are you thinking right here?
It's an interesting one. If you look at just the pure output of any one of these guys, I don't think, right? I think this, based on stats, this really could go any way. I don't think there's a clear track record. And this is not only in terms of goal and assist output, but even just in game availability, starts, minutes, all that stuff. I don't think there's necessarily a clear winner. However, and I think if we're going off of, the vibe check of a certain PHNX Rising co-host, then I perhaps know who might come out ahead, but we'll see. I don't know.
Are you referring to one player's aura?
That is correct. That is correct. Mr. Aura himself.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is Mr. Aura?
I mean, you know what? Let's find out together. Let's find out
right.
if Mr. Aura won.
Max, there it is. The envelope.
No pressure,
For
Max.
best
Oh, yes.
forward. He's ready?
I'm going to be real. This is kind of complicated. Oh, wait, I got
Why
it.
does
I got
he
it.
It's
find this
really
so
simple.
It's
The winner
really,
of best forward in
really
simple,
2024 is...
Do you think it's him? Do you think it's him? Is he him?
If he's looking at my laptop, he knows
No,
the
I
answer.
actually wasn't. I have no idea. I don't know. Let's find out together. Wow.
Oh!
It's Darius
That's a
Formella.
shocker.
That's actually-
I'm
yeah.
actually genuinely surprised. Okay.
You were surprised at that one. Well, let's have a look at the vote breakdown here for this one. Now, here's where it's interesting. Darius Formella was 41% of the weighted votes.
Mr. Aura, too.
Here's how it went down. Jill Margarita won a large portion of the fan
That's
votes.
fair.
However, clearly, the diehards and the media decided that Jill probably wasn't around long enough to take top spot.
That's
I'm
fair.
guessing
That is fair.
on
That's-
that point.
It's a very good point.
It's because in both of those categories, Darius carried and carried with a pretty large
Convincingly,
portion
yeah.
of the.
Yeah, I
of
mean,
the
I,
votes.
that was my first overall thought, and I guess it's I don't want to say it's a toss up between Darius Formella and Remi Cabral. I think that it's very different, right? Darius Formella, they both miss time for different reasons, whether it's injury, becoming a father, all this different stuff. I think it just all depends on kind of what you're going for. Remi Cabral, I think more so because he is an out number 9, and that's really his sole position, maybe judged a bit more closely to goals and assists. Darius Formella, not saying that he isn't, but right, if you're looking at forward, sure, maybe there's a bit more tactical nuance and flexibility, but I think Darius Formella, we've seen him play better in other positions, so this was maybe almost even a bonus. I don't know. We'll see. I don't hate it, but it's a little surprising.
Who did you vote for, Max?
It was a while ago. I can't remember.
Who did you
Okay.
vote for, Max?
I don't know.
I voted for Jurl.
Well, that we knew.
Yeah.
You
That
voted
we
for Jill.
I know he only
I
played
honestly
10
think I voted for
times,
Remi
but-
Cabral. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
You were the
Okay.
sole Remi Cabral vote.
maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
I will
know,
say
but-
someone voted for Thomas Angel, by the way, as well.
Can't be me.
No.
I'll say that.
3 goals. I mean,
Hey, I
That's-
know.
you
All I
take
say is
3
Golden Boot
goals.
winner. I know ball. Thank you.
All right, we've done this in what, about 10, 12 minutes?
I
The
don't know.
first 4
I'm not-
categories. We got time. We got a little bit of
I'm
time.
not a mathematician.
Slow down a little bit, but you know what? We had
Hold
Jill
on for a second.
Margarita.
Hold on for a second. Kyle, what do you think of these picks? You guys, you watch these guys all season. What do you like so far? Got Pat Marboy,
Yeah.
got Renzo Zambrano, and you got Darius Formella. What do you think? You like? Nay?
I
Any
don't know about
snubs?
Darius. I mean,
Oh, Kyle knows ball too.
I don't know. I'm a big Margarita fan as
Oh,
well,
here we go.
just like Reese.
Kyle
We
knows
think
ball?
alike.
Yeah,
So
that's
Reese
the
and I
scary
do.
part.
I get it, but
all right.
I
Chat,
wouldn't vote for him.
that's fair. Chat, let us know. Chat, let us know what you think as well. You like these picks? You don't like these picks? You guys help make these picks, so thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Right, we're gonna move on. Before I reveal the shortlist for this one, I want to know what you guys are thinking. It's best mid-season acquisition. So before we show the shortlist, lads, what are we thinking here? I know it's gonna be Mr. Aurora for
Yeah.
you as well.
I think I'm just gonna name 3. I think it's gonna be Jurl, Charlie Dennis, Darius, probably.
Darius Johnson. you
Yeah,
go for.
Johnson. Yeah.
Well, I'm actually gonna spoil it for you slightly. Let's go straight with the shortlist here.
I think Tomas and Al gets ahead.
Neither of them do because
Wow.
only 2 people
Wow.
received votes in this category.
Wow,
And
justice
those
for
2
Darius
people
Johnson.
are Jill Margarita, Charlie Dennis, the only 2 people to receive votes in this category. So no, none of the
Wow.
others did sneak their way in.
Let me
That's across all of our different
wait a
cohorts.
second.
I'm just putting that one out there now.
Let me get this straight. Someone votes Tomas and Hell as best forward
Correct.
over Jurl Margarita, and yet they don't vote him.
But they could
as,
have voted for Charlie Dennis.
I guess. I mean,
That's
but
weird,
still,
but they
it's
could.
kind of weird. I know it's not mutually exclusive. That's just kind of that's wild to me. But hey, that's fair. By the
Max,
way,
people vote weirdly. It's not up to me to tell you.
I know. By
like,
the
but-
way, we got people in the chat. Devinall, Renzo, interesting choice. Anthony, Jurl, legacy season loading. That might be Reese in the chat for all we know. And James
Anthony
Wilson,
knows ball.
Jurl.
a lot of people
with
like
5
Jill in
exclamations
here.
as well.
Who doesn't love Jurl?
So best mid-season acquisition again, the shortlist: Charlie Dennis, Jill Margarita, Reese. I'm gonna hand this envelope off to you.
Oh, dude, don't break his heart if
Is
it's not
it
Jurl.
gonna
It's not
be-
Jurl. I might cry.
Don't break
Is
his
it
heart.
gonna be your guy?
Jurl Margarita.
Is
Jurl
it
Margarita.
gonna be your guy? It is
Jurl
Jill
Margarita.
Margarita.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Your best mid-season acquisition. You know, I'm gonna let the man himself over here, the president of the Jill Margarita fan club.
Vice President. Vice President. Kevin
Wax
Kardashian is the president.
Lyrical over here about him. Tell us about Jill.
Well, I mean, I just think when he joined, you could see it gave a different vibe to the attack. The attack, let's be real, was not good for most of the season. But I did think that Jurl Margarita on the ball, when he played on the right, was much better on the left than he was on the left. So I really, really did enjoy watching him play, how he cut inside, some of the dribbles that he was able to do. Sometimes the final product wasn't there, but you could say that for literally every single Rising player this season. So, but I do think he's the best acquisition this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did bring something, I think, in in the latter part of the season. Was it a little bit too little too late probably for this team?
Yeah.
Could they have done with him sooner in the season? Oh, 100%. And I mean, the fact that he was out with international duty definitely didn't help either. And again, that will be an issue that comes up, I'm sure, for Rising over the upcoming season, especially with the CONCACAF Gold Cup in the middle of the year, right? It's going to be difficult. However, just seeing what he managed to get done when he came, knowing that he obviously, with a little bit of luck along the way, maybe, yes, but he got the goal that really, I think, rescued Rising at one point from probably completely falling off a cliff because things were bad. They hadn't scored in so many games, and if he hadn't scored that goal late in Loudon, you do wonder, I think, even from a mental perspective, where that team even goes from there. He manages to hang on, to help them through that, and just what a an acquisition he's proven to be. Unsurprisingly, he won all 3 categories, by the way, the fan, diehard, and media votes in this one, taking 2/3 of the weighted vote in total as he went on to win the award for best mid-season acquisition.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also, I think the position that he plays, right? Maybe sometimes for better or worse, the impact could be a little bit more noticeable. And I think, to Rees's point, right, he really did come with a different mentality. And I think just you watch him play, whether that shows up on the stats or not, like I think it's just, even if it doesn't necessarily translate to stats, and granted at some point, right, definitely very much needs to do more consistently. He's now in the fold for next season. Very exciting. You hope that, I think it at least gives the team a lift of just, hey, we can play a bit more progressive, a bit more direct. And that's what he brought. Charlie Dennis, I will say though, for what he brought to the team, I think, right, maybe sometimes, I don't want to say necessarily consistent. I think some of the games where wasn't on top game was noticeable, but I think when he was on, that dude's a baller. And Charlie Dennis, like that, the fact that they were the only 2 that got votes, I mean, you can see why, because they both made sizable differences.
Yeah. For Charlie, again, I said this earlier, it just depended on how he was deployed. So true. When he was higher up the pitch, that's where he excelled. But again, we just didn't see him there enough. It's when he played deeper, that's when he struggled. And when he plays higher, again, it's so good. I'd like to see more of that next season.
There we go. Yes. There we go. All right. Are we ready for our next category? This is a very much one of the moments, right? Kind of goal of the season. Goal of the season. This is a big one, right? This is a big one. We love goal of the season. It's a fun category, right?
It's a fun category.
Well, there were only 33, so
there weren't that many goals. And obviously, we didn't count penalties and didn't put penalties on the list either because we didn't want to do that. But here are the top 3 vote getters. So this is the short list for goal of the season. The first was Panos Amanakis' goal against El Paso to equalize over there. That was a long-range effort. Giulio Dorottiotto's winner in the Open Cup against North Carolina gets in, and Federico Varela in the playoffs against New Mexico. Those are the goals that are up for goal of the season. Now, it's time. It's time. Who's up next? Is you now, isn't it, Max? Your turn again. So goal of the season. Here we go. I pass the envelope over to you.
I mean, again, I know something a thing or two about scoring goals, so there we go.
Sure you do, Max.
Makes sense. Golden boot. You have one? No, I didn't think so.
No, I don't.
I didn't think so. All right. Well, I mean, you already know what the winner is.
I know who's won.
Rees, who do you think on this one?
I think Panos versus El Paso. Just the long range effort and that really Rising just weren't good at that point.
Right.
The ship was not sailing the right
And here's the
direction.
interesting thing about this one. Is this like, I guess with all these, there's some contextual, but I think very much with this one, you could say, is this based on skill? Is this the best goal? Or like, was it the most aesthetically pleasing? Was it the most pivotal?
That's what comes up to. You don't know, do
That's
you?
the beautiful part.
You never know what the voter goes in thinking about,
Yeah,
right?
but you know what we do know? The winner is...
We don't know the winner.
Hey!
Panos Amanakis. I just butchered his name. Panos Amanakis against El Paso Locomotive.
Oh, wow. I mean,
gets the win for
if
goal of the season.
I mean, that one was maybe in terms of degree of difficulty, it was, certainly up there against all the goals in the season. I mean, that was, that was just, I remember the celebration too. It's just like, bam, cut out the noise. It was a good goal. Good goal.
It was a good goal.
Yeah, and it was, that El Paso team was just so bad at the moment. They were awful. And Rising were 1-0 down, 82nd minute equalizer. Huge for Rising at that point.
Indeed. Right, Rees? We're going to move on.
gosh.
We're going to move on. And next up, we have Unsung Hero. The Unsung Hero, this is obviously given to someone who doesn't necessarily get the credit for what they've done over the course of the season, but we're going to give them the credit for it now. And this one received by far the largest number of nominations of any category. 19 total players received votes in this category for Unsung Hero. Because again, what does it mean to you necessarily?
Hold on, how many players?
19 players.
Rising even
received-
field 19 players last season.
Yes, they did.
That's actually kind of wild. That's actually wow. That's pretty wild. Okay.
So obviously we've distilled it down to the top 3 for our shortlist. I'll tell you this now, because there are so many nominees. The winner, before we even announce the shortlist, I'll tell you the winner won this on 20% of the weighted vote.
Wow.
That's how spread out this was.
Okay.
So, without further ado, the shortlist for Unsung Hero: Emil Quaisho, Lawrence Wyke, and Renzo Zambrano.
I think just based off the names of those, that makes sense.
That makes sense,
Like I feel
yeah.
you can't have a big
they
name.
found the right ones.
You can't. Like, those all make sense. None of those
But
are like
people who
amazing.
haven't really won a whole lot.
Yeah. Like you can have at Rocco Ríos Novo very much could be an unsung hero, but I think he's almost like he's very high profile in the context of the other people. So I love those. Makes sense.
Okay. We like it. We like it. Rees,
Here we go.
over to you, my friend. The Unsung Hero Award.
Renzo Zambrano.
Yep.
Wow.
No drama in that one.
Yeah,
You could have gone
love it.
slow.
No
No
nonsense.
I mean,
Love it.
Renzo Zambrano
Absolutely love
is
Wow.
your winner of the Unsung Hero Award. Let's take a look at the vote breakdown right now. He comes in, as I said, with 20% of the weighted vote. Lawrence Wyke in second place with 13%. Emil Quaisho with 11%. They were the only players to make it into double digits of the weighted vote. As it was, if you were intrigued here about how the fan vote as a whole went, it was actually tied, by the way, between Renzo and Lawrence Wyke, and it was the media in the end that pushed
Traitors.
Zambrano over the line. Oddly enough, none of the diehards voted for either of those two players. In fact, none of the diehards voted for any of the players that made the shortlist.
That's kind of wild.
That's how really
Sounds
spread out
divided.
this thing was.
Yeah.
Diehards actually voted for Gabby Torres.
Here's a question, and I'm curious,
Let's
right? You guys think, chat as well. If Renzo Zambrano doesn't hold the captain's armband for essentially the majority of the season, is he still the unsung hero?
I mean, to me, I don't think you can call him an unsung hero because I feel like he got his praises throughout the season. Like
So you want to give someone an unsung hero?
But I
who
still
is, like,
think
not
I understand what you're saying, but I
picked
think
Wyke.
I understand what you're saying, but I still think that the context to that though is if you get to the end of the year going, oh, who is your player of the year kind of pick? Do you really put Renzo in that picture? He's the guy who did so much, but really
Won't get the plaudits
isn't going to
grand
get more than
He's
a
a glue
very
guy. He's a
slim amount of a
massive
vote
glue
at the
guy.
top award probably.
I get that. I went Wyke because I just thought he was really the second best defender for a large stretch of this season. And yes, he had his moments like the New Mexico penalty, the red card versus North Carolina, a few things like that. But I think for the most part this season, he was rock solid. Early in the season under Danny Stone, he took more of a role in possession, bringing the ball from that back, almost like that Carlos Harvey role, but not quite, as he was on the right side. And then the second half, it was much more defensive under Diego Gomez. And to me, that's why I went Wyke.
All right. We have about 12 minutes, if that, left the show, and we've got 2 awards to hand out, and they're the big ones, and we're probably going to be discussing them. So we should probably crack on with these. We're going to move on now to our second biggest award of the night, and it is Young Player of the Year. The Young Player of the Year award, obviously given to the younger guys on the team. Let's have a look.
Hold on, define young. How
define young. It was the same as the leagues. I forget exactly what the age cutoff was in my. I'll pull it up now. I can pull the exact one. Talk among yourselves if you want while I pull up the exact definition.
Well, I just want to clarify. So Rees, for example, could his age he can classify as the.
Young player.
So, like,
Young
I'm also,
player
I'm also a
must
spring
have
chicken.
been born.
myself.
Max.
Young player must have been born after January 1st, 2002.
Okay, so you're under 22. So Math? Yeah,
that's a lot of math.
That's a lot of
Don't
math.
feel like
22 years
doing
old,
it.
something
I
like
just
that.
picked the answers that were given.
All right. How many people were on the ballot for this one?
There were 5 people on the ballot. The
Okay,
people on the
got
ballot were Giulio D'Artiato, Mo Traore, Pat Marboy, Rocco Ríos Novo, and Thomas Angel.
Dude,
That's a stacked
that is
list.
that's a pretty
Yeah,
stacked one for
right.
most of it.
The
Well,
shortlist,
this
the
makes-
top 3
this
for
makes- yeah.
Young Player of the Year.
Yes.
It is Pat Marboy, Giulio D'Artiato, and Rocco Ríos Novo. Rocco kind of sneaking in there as
Yeah.
being eligible for this award.
He's like an old young. He's like an old. He's wise beyond his years.
Just like you, Max.
Thank you. I'll stop.
Remember, you got the key thing on that one, by the way. You have to be 21 or younger, by the way, when this calendar year started. That's how it was.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, 21 or younger. That's how you worked that one out. Right, Young Player of the Year. Reese, you had the last one. So, Max, this one goes over to you. The Young Player of the Year for 2024 is...
James Wilson saying Pat for sure. We will see. It is none other than
Pat
Pat Marboy.
Pat Marboy
That's
is
the second
the winner
award.
of
Second
Young
award of the night.
Player of the Year for 2024. Right. Should we have a look at the breakdown, boys?
Let's do it.
You want to have a look at that breakdown? It's not even close in
My
this context.
word.
Pat Marboy running away with it here. 78%.
Good
Of
gravy.
The weighted vote for Young Player of the Year. And yeah, just he had a very good season. I mean, we all know it. We all spoke about it a little bit earlier. I mean, speaking about him as best defender, but for his debut professional season, just
Not bad.
what a showing.
Yeah. I mean, and that Young Player of the Year list was stacked. And I mean, Mo Traore didn't even make the short list.
Isn't that
That's
crazy? Yeah.
and he paired so well with Pop. So, I mean, Pop's the easy choice. I'm surprised the vote count is that much of a blowout. I thought him and Rocco would be closer, but still, Pop's the easy choice.
So to give you an idea
let us know.
here, it was outside of the diehards, there was very little vote for anyone other than Pap. Pap won 82% of the fan vote. He won 90% of the media vote. Pap really ran away with it for Young Player of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's 78%. Wow.
Well,
It's impressive, but wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, he's got 2 awards. So he's got Best Defender. He's got Young Player of the Year. He's taking 3?
Are you
taking-
asking if he's getting the big one?
He's getting the
Right.
big
Well,
one.
here's what I want to know, right? Before we show, and next, the only award we have left is Player of the Year.
Dun, dun, dun.
Before we move on to that, I want to know, before we show the shortlist, I want to know, Max, what would your shortlist be for this award?
Ooh.
Like, this is I want to know what your top 3 is.
Oh.
Give me your shortlist before we reveal the shortlist.
Man. Well, because I mean, so I'm happy to reveal my vote. My vote was Pat Marboy. I had him sweeping all 3 categories. I'm already 2 for 2. Let's go. So Pat Marboy was my player of the year. If I'm going, who's going to round out the short list? That is such a tough one because I feel there was a lot of inconsistencies. I will go second, Renzo Zambrano. I think just again, guy, I had him as well in the Unsung Hero category. But yeah, player of the year definitely up there. And then number 3, man, such a tough one. I think I'd probably have to go Rocco Ríos Novo.
So you're saying Pap, Rocco, Renzo?
It's a tough
What do you
one,
think?
man.
Yeah, I would switch the order of Rocco and Renzo. I'd go Pop 1, Rocco 2, Renzo 3.
That's fair.
I mean, then again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a name we're not thinking of. Is Panos technically eligible for this award? I know
he was.
Yeah, the
eligible
people
for
love
this award,
Panos, so-
correct?
Well, yeah, but
But
again,
still,
this all
I
comes down
believe-
to
and
is
that's the
this-
third
is
place.
this
No,
your-
actually, no, he wasn't.
is this
Sorry.
your player
No,
of the
he
year?
wasn't.
Is
At
it
least
based on
20 games?
performance?
20, I believe,
Okay.
yeah.
Whatever. Who would you be your shortlist, Mr. Owen?
Well, you see, this is the thing. I know the short
No,
list.
I'm asking
so
who's your shortlist.
No
one else knows
Erickson
the
Gallardo?
shortlist. We haven't put it on
Erickson
the-
Gallardo.
You know, are we ready? I'm just gonna move
Wait,
on.
what about Kyle?
No.
Kyle, who's your shortlist?
Kyle's seen the shortlist, I think, as
I've
well.
seen it as
I am
well. But
Just
not
make
asking
one
for
up.
the shortlist. I'm asking for your shortlist.
throw Charlie in there.
Okay,
He
there
likes
we go.
Charlie in there?
There we
Okay,
go.
the
All right.
shortlist for Player of the Year 2024 is Pat Marboy, Rocco Ríos Novo,
I
and
know
Renzo
ball!
Zambrano.
I know ball.
They are the 3 biggest vote getters in this
It
one.
know
was
ball.
kind of 3 easy picks,
I know
Max.
ball.
Now, here's
I
what
mean,
you
What
think,
you
right?
want from me?
Now, Before we reveal this, a couple of things. Number one, Rees called dibs on it, and Max didn't say anything.
I didn't
So
really care.
I called
Rees
dibs,
does
so
get the
give it to our
pleasure
young
of
player,
revealing our player of the year. I'm going to say this before you do. The last one, Young Player of the Year, you seemed surprised. It was really way off the vote totals in terms of, wow, someone ran away with it. For this one, I can tell you, it was not run away with.
Huh. Okay.
This vote was decided in the end on the weighted vote by just 3% on the weighted vote.
Ooh.
It was a tight vote. And the winner just about squeaked through. In fact, if it was a case whereby if you'd have had, say, one more media vote in there, it would have swung
Wow.
the result.
I bet Max forgot to vote.
Player of the year. Max, I asked him earlier, and he's just to confirm.
I was actually one of the first people to submit. Thank you very much.
Wow. I think we were the first people that got the ballot.
It's
So
also
that really
it's also
doesn't
probably true.
mean
That
much.
is true. That is true. So,
For sure.
without further ado,
Here we go.
make this one slow. Enjoy it. Player of the year. This is the exciting one. It's
Pat
my
my
boy.
3 for 3,
Yeah.
baby.
He is
He
picking
mopped
him up
He
tonight.
mopped up.
Your player of the season.
Wow. What a guy.
In his debut
What a
professional
guy.
season.
What a guy.
Pat, my boy.
That's my boy.
Wow. I mean, it just tells you, again, what he's done this year and the kind of impression he's put on this team and on the fans, and so much you don't always hear about as well, to be honest. Things like his leadership, right? Those things you don't always hear, you don't always see. You might not think of a young player as someone who's a leader, but then you hear from people around the team who say, yeah, this guy, he's stepped up. He's stepped up so much this year.
Dude's a stud. I mean, again, like, this is regardless of age, one of the best players on the team, just, from an energy standpoint, from being able to mop up at the back. And I think the cool thing too is you saw him get progressively better. We're going to call it exactly what it is. He was a bit of a liability, it seemed like, passing out of the back when the season first started. By no means are we saying he is a maestro or anything like that, but it got a lot better to the point where it's like, oh, well, not only can you not drop him, based on, hey, he is mopping up things in the back, he's one of the best defenders on this club, but he really did become, hey, he was a bit more adventurous, trying to break lines. You saw the improvement there. And also, by the way, I even think about this, his goal, in my mind, was actually one of the top ones of the season. I'm actually surprised it didn't make the list. That was a beautiful effort. Grab the ball
Is
forward,
that against which team?
ping it in there.
The El Paso one,
That
I
was-
think
I
you're
think that
thinking
was
of.
El Paso.
El
Yeah.
Paso.
I think it was El Paso on the second goal. It was dollar beer. It was dollar beer.
He missed out on third place by, I'm just calculating it for you quickly, 0.4% on the weighted vote.
Wow.
It was one of those ones where it spits them both out at like the same percentage, and you have to start checking all the decimal places out so you can work out what's going on. But he was very close to making a shortlist for that one as well.
Okay.
To give you an idea on the breakdown of voting on this one, the fans were tied.
Yeah.
The fans voted. They were tied. They went dead level between Rocco, Ríos, Novo, and Pat, my boy. 45% for him. Rocco on 42% in the end. Renzo with 6%, way behind in that case. The diehards broke for Rocco, and the media broke for Pat. And in this case, just enough to push it towards Pap.
Yeah. I mean, like, as Max mentioned, those like early games from Pap, they were shaky, not just passing wise, but some of the defensive movements he made. You could tell it was like his first few professional games, which makes sense. But then to seeing how he performed down the stretch, it's just the turnaround there is just insane. The development's insane. I've talked about this earlier. It's going to be so exciting to see what his career ends up becoming, because he is, again, still so young.
Indeed he is. Right, Max, we're coming towards the end.
Yes.
End of the show. That was fun.
It was fun, man. I mean, right? We got. So let's see. Bemar Boy, 3 awards. I'm trying to think. Anyone else with multiple? Renzo Zambrano won unsung
Renzo
hero.
Zambrano won
midfielder.
midfielder and unsung hero. Yeah.
Everyone else. No one else with.
Multiples. No.
I'm gonna put Rocco Ríos Novo as goalkeeper of the year. There we go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, pretty good.
Fierce competition he faced, huh?
Hey, whoa.
No
Yeah.
disrespect to Rakowski, but
Stop it. This was very fun. As always, chat, thank you for participating. Thank you for voting. It's always a good time when we do this. We like to pull the community, pull the people. Owen, thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
We got more fun things to come over the next couple of weeks, by the way. We're going to do a quiz right before the new year, aren't we?
I mean, not this
Like
next
on the
week,
show.
but the following week.
Yeah,
right?
not next week,
So
the
yes,
following week.
as a programmer, first off, leave a like. I love this. Is so good. It is so good every time I see it.
It's a great drawing, but the meaning behind
Put it
it's
back on.
terrible.
Wrap it up, Max.
It's
We've got very
terrible.
little time left.
Put
Come
it
on.
back on. Put the camera back on him. Yeah, let's go.
Wrap it up, Max. Come on.
Stop that. I can see. All right. Well, no, we're good. I'll take my sweet time. But yes, no, appreciate everyone joining us. Programming note, next 2 weeks, Monday, 6 p.m. Monday, 6 p.m. on the 23rd and 30th, 6 p.m. Be here or be square. And don't be a square. Appreciate everyone joining us on the PHNX Rising podcast. Of course, you can follow us at PHNX__Rising, double D _.
I don't know. Double the max tattoos next season.
That is crazy.
Yeah, let's go.
That is crazy. You can follow me on Twitter at MaxDavidSims. You can follow Owen on Twitter at OJ Evans18. You can follow Rees on Twitter at Rees11_. You can follow Mr. Kyle Cooper. That's our unsung hero at K Coop Sports. Chat, you're amazing as always. We will catch you on Monday. It's a beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when your hot dog name, image, and likeness is immortalized forever.
Do I get
Good
paid
night.
for that?
We all silly like the mayor.